Hi everyone, this is Lisa Boudoir and welcome to Lisa's chat room. Today is June 27th, 2023. I have these sensitivities to chemical finishes that include formaldehyde on cloth type materials, but also that are in certain laundry soaps. So I have to handle clothing and clothing differently than most people. Plus I wash them differently than most people. I do not use laundry detergents at all. I just found eventually they change the bill of materials and then I'm stuck with this sensitivity that I have, and it's a pretty bad sensitivity. So make sure you go out and watch the whole playlist so you can see step by step, because that's how I'm trying to do these videos, step by step, showing you about the sensitivity, how I've come to this awareness of these chemicals and how I'm trying to get them out of my home. That's this direction here with these videos. Basically, I'm using that process that I use in Therapies for a Better Me. So you kind of should watch my playlists, all of them, because I kind of talk about everything in all of them and I don't want to repeat myself constantly. But basically, I've just decided to handle all my clothing in a certain way because of these sensitivities. The sensitivities are horrible for me, and I am coming to find that people are finding my YouTube channel and they're having the same problems. Some are even worse. I'm not a doctor or scientist. Okay, this is my disclosure. Whatever I share with you, you have to try, use, or buy at your own risk and peril. I do strongly suggest that you go to a doctor, to an allergist, and just get a binder and just create a playbook and put plans in place. That's what I do. This is what I talk about in my Therapies for a Better Me, my Dynamics of Abuse presentations on violation. This is what I do. So please go watch them. Also, please subscribe, because the more you do, the more this video is out there for other people to see. There are people that are having the same problems, and for them to get this, apparently, there's got to be good algorithms. I don't know the technology of it, but please subscribe. But also too, please push like. A lot of people don't push even the like, and I'm like, are they liking what I'm saying? I hope so. Do they agree with it? And a lot of times you might not agree with it. Sometimes it might not even work for you. To understand that I'm just sharing stuff that I am doing, hoping that it will help you. But also to understand that even the chemicals I had to get the chemicals out of the clothing that I have, even these are dangerous, and they each have warnings. You have to be very, very careful and mindful of using them. Use rubber gloves, eye mask, a face mask, whatever you need, especially when you're working with the ammonia and the borax and all of them really. You got to keep in a well-ventilated area. These all have warnings. They also have directions on how to use them. Like here I've got my laundry booster and it shows laundry, kitchen, bathroom. Be very, very careful though. Be mindful. And again, I'm just showing you what I do. So this video is going to be talking about how I wash the clothes. And one of the things that I haven't talked about that I use is very, very hot water. So I'm going to run through what I do. I'm going to put that process in the description below, but I'll walk through as quickly as possible so you can see what I do. So brand new clothes goes in there right away. I spritz them down with glass cleaner right away. They go in there. They sit for about a day or two. I wouldn't leave it longer. And then I spritz them again. I spritz them a couple times. Then I stick them in that wash machine in very, very hot water. And I will wash and rinse, and I will wash and rinse again. The problem is I have found chemical finishing is a resin. To think of a resin is like gooey, sticky. That's why it sticks in the clothes. However, it breaks down to this fine powder, and that fine powder gets into my nose. It gets on my skin. That's what's making me itch and have these horrible allergic reactions. So that's part of the problem. The way that they're creating this protective barrier on the clothing, this chemical finishing, and they take this fabric, and whether it's done or not, whether they've made the pants or not, they put it in a vat of chemical finishing, and then they run it through a dryer, and then they press it with an iron. They press it in this big iron thing. I'll try to find the link for this one. Definitely when I start to do the research, I'll have the links for that on the next upcoming videos, because these videos are basically how do I keep this stuff out of my home? How do I keep it from getting in my home? The next will be more research. What are these chemicals? Why aren't we being told about it? Those types of things. And then I will also even touch base on some of the products that I find that seem to be formaldehyde and chemical finish free. That'll be another conversation. But here, basically what they're doing is they're literally washing the clothes in this chemical finishing and then drying and then ironing it. So it is a resin. Washing it and rinsing it in really hot water is kind of the ticket. It's the key to getting it out. And of course, it's going to cost more money to do that. You know, I like to try to use as least amount of things as I possibly can, but this is what I've got to do to protect myself from these allergies. What I will do is I will put the brand new stuff in there and wash it. Then I will bring it over here. Now, if it's not brand new, I'll bring it over here. Okay, so there's like a step-by-step process. So here's my wash machine. I have a soak and a pre-wash ultra clean that has a one rinse and then a permanent press. I never use that one. So what I'll do is I'll put it in and I'll soak it on hot. But if you notice, for the rinse, all I have is a one warm and the rest, and then warm here, and the rest are cold. So what I will do is I will pre-wash in the very hot water, and it's really hot. And then I will pre-wash again without anything in it. So I'm basically rinsing. I'm using this as the rinse cycle. And I will do this several times. If it's brand new clothing, I will actually treat the clothing with borax. In other words, I use the borax in the wash machine. Now, I never put anything in the actual dispenser. I've never done that. Ever. Never put distilled vinegar, especially that. Never put that in your dispenser. But what I'll do is I will use the borax. Sometimes I'll use the laundry booster. This is very expensive. So this goes on the brand new clothes or clothes that are basically what I call contaminated. For someone that has the allergies, I guess you could follow that. And then when it's not contaminated, I use this. That's the only difference. But be very, very careful. This stuff is strong. You do not want to breathe this in. You can burn your lungs. You can burn your lungs on all this stuff. So be very, very careful. I use gloves. Don't fill my wash machine ever. I usually have it on this setting, which is a little bit bigger than the small. But if it's brand new items, I'll do very small load. I'll just do 2 things at a time if there's resin in it. That's the sad thing. We don't know. It's just like when you go to the produce section, you know, you see a product that says organic or non-GMO. Well, what about the rest of the products? You can only assume that they have GMO in them, right? And I'll be talking about the GMO when I get into the videos about the research I'm doing now. I'm going to research the GMO and I'm going to show you exactly how the industry has kind of set this up now, because now I'm finding clothes that say chemical-free finishing. So I'll talk about that. And I'll talk about laundry soap too. I'd be very careful. People will claim that it's good for the environment. Maybe it is. I'm not saying it isn't. I'm saying what you need to do is your own homework. Turn it around. Find out the ingredients that are actually in it. Sometimes what they'll do is they'll say, oh, this isn't in it. This isn't in it. This isn't in it. I want to know what's in it. Okay. I'm not a dummy. I'm not like a 5-year-old that's going to just buy into something. I want to know what's in that product. And a lot of times they don't want to tell you. So I do my research. I dig and dig and dig. And sometimes you have to go to their website in order to find it. But I wouldn't buy a product unless I know exactly what's in it. The thing is we need to be mindful of this. We personally, what has happened here for me has made me realize I cannot trust other people. I have to trust myself. And I talk about the deck of trust in my therapies playlist, so go watch that. Getting back to here, I will do this several times. And it depends on the fabric. Now, the thing is just because it says cotton doesn't mean it's organic cotton. It can be also GMO produced, I'm pretty sure. Now, again, I'm not a scientist. I will do more research on that, but I do know that, unfortunately, it doesn't say, you know, like on the label of these pants, it doesn't say whatever it is, doused in formaldehyde or chemical finishing. However, again, products are telling you that it isn't. Again, be very, very careful, be very mindful. You know, if it says chemical finish free, what does that mean? What is in it? Okay, that's what I want to know. So be smart as a consumer. Now, once I'm done washing, it's kind of like a pre-wash, right? That's what I do. Then what I'll do is I will wash with the baking soda, which I buy at Walmart right now. You go down the laundry aisle and it's on the bottom on the left. And then I will use the white vinegar. I never ever put this in the dispenser. Never. Don't do it. Some people say put this on the bottom, put this on the top. Totally up to you. I don't use that much. I double it. If the load is a little bit bigger, I'll use 2 cups and 2 cups of this. If it's the small load, I use 1 cup. I'm not rolling in the mud. And actually, this is so good. It takes out any of that mildew smell. I have been around people who have the high efficiency washers, and you can smell that mildewish smell along with the laundry detergent. But I really like what's happening. People are becoming more mindful. So make sure you click like so I know that this is helping you. Really, please. All right. So getting back to that, now I do the distilled vinegar. Now, for this, I never use the cleaning vinegar. Okay. Cleaning vinegar, even though it's a little bit higher as far as percent wise, it's really strong. I've never used it. I'm kind of afraid to use it because remember, this is acidic. You don't want acid sitting in your wash machine. It eats up plastic. It can eat up rubber. I had something and it ate it up. I can't remember what it was. It's like, oh no. I think it was a sprayer. Literally ate the sprayer up. So I don't know where I get these. I'm not even sure. I think I got it at Menards. All right, the little blue bottles, not sure. Usually this one has lasted a long time, and this has just got straight distilled vinegar. The other thing is make sure you gently kind of swoosh your chemicals around so that you have full potency within the container and within your bottle. And actually, I have a funnel. So then I put the distilled vinegar in there. I put the glass cleaner. I buy the glass cleaner by bulk, and I put it in here. Now, for me, the glass cleaner doesn't seem to be working as much as it used to. That doesn't mean that they've changed their ingredients. What it could mean is that I have worse sensitivity. Not sure. And again, I'm going to be making videos about those sensitivities. I'm going to do the reverse. You know, what can I do to get rid of this? The therapies. Therapies would be things to help me through, and remedies would be things to completely eradicate whatever it is that's going on with me. That's how I look at it. But it could be I'm becoming more sensitive. So sometimes I will use the distilled vinegar that I have and spritz that down. Now be very careful if you do that because it's really smelly and it's not good to breathe in. All right. So my brand new clothes sit in here. It's the borax with the pre-wash the first time, then the ammonia with the pre-wash the next time. I do that twice for each one, right? I have recipe cards. This helps a lot. And I made them so that I know where I'm at. So it's nice for you to have recipe cards. You could even laminate them so you don't have to worry. Put them on a little ring. You could have them hanging up so you know exactly where you're at because you do lose track. So once that's done, then I wash with the distilled vinegar and the baking soda, and then I throw them in the dryer. All I use is the vinegar, distilled vinegar, and a couple dryer balls. Just little blue dryer balls. I can put a link where I get them, but I'm not making any money off of this, by the way. I don't want to make any money off these videos. The trick for removing it out of the dryer is you don't let it go too long because that's why your clothes get, electricity in them, static. If they get static, then shake them out, okay? Shake them out. Usually shaking them out will really make the difference. And finally, what I do after I dry them is I vacuum them. And I vacuum every single piece of clothing that comes out of this dryer, whether it's not contaminated, whether it is, because an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And for me, if it gets in my skin, now yesterday I had jammies on and for some reason I didn't get it out all the way. This is a problem because I store my stuff here and they go into little vats. So here's my vat for my tanks. Now it's got pretty full now, which is a pain. Say something's contaminated, I have to go through all this, but that's not the end of the world to rewash just this. But usually what I'll do is I'll bring it down here and I'll vacuum it and it comes out. It's a resin that turns into a fine powder. If it doesn't seem to come out, I'll just rewash it. I'll put it in this container. Now upstairs I have a white one. That means there's nothing in it. Now here is the problem, right? This is something I haven't talked about. I'm washing clothes that have it, that are brand new, that are contaminated, and that don't have it. I have 3 separate issues. Well, what do? So the brand new clothes goes in there first, but it still eventually goes in here. So after every single wash and every single dry, I clean out my machines. Now here, I use my duster, and I've shown you my duster. I'll put a link to it. I use my duster. I spritz it with glass cleaner, and I'll run it around, and then I'll take and I'll wipe it down with glass cleaner and a paper towel. All right. For my dryer, I'll do the same thing, and I'll usually vacuum it out. Now, a lot of people say that's so much work. Yes, it is. But it's worse if I have my jammies on and I sit on my couch and I somehow get this all over my couch and then I have to clean. So for me, it's 2 minutes of cleaning versus 3 hours of trying to get it out of my house. The difference that I've shared today is the hot water and the cleaning of the machines. It's really important because as this stuff breaks down, it turns into a powder. So say you've washed something and there's still some powder residue in here, and you go to wash something that is non-contaminated, you're getting it contaminated again. So that's the whole process. I have the complete step-by-step list below. And then please make sure you like this, all right? And with the next video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about when you go out somewhere, what I do to protect myself from when I go sit at a restaurant or I have to sit at the doctor's office to get a blood draw or sit in a chair. And thank you so much for subscribing, by the way. It makes me feel so good to know that I'm actually, hopefully, helping other people or creating awareness. That's really what we need to do. So please make sure you subscribe. Please hit the like button and the notifications too, all right? So with that, please make sure you stay safe and stay healthy, and I'll see you again next time in Lisa's chat room.